The Rock is apparently rubbing people the wrong way backstage in the WWE. We're going to talk about that plus so much more right here on The Ango Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TAS. Don't forget, we got a giveaway at 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, you should click subscribe. We talk about things on the regular, about everything happening in pro wrestling. And when we hit 100,000 subscribers, there's going to be a really dope live stream. So you're not going to want to miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's kick things off with some very interesting news surrounding Drew McIntyre. I personally am a huge fan of Drew McIntyre's WWE run, but also we got to talk about WWE giving their stars a little bit more creative freedom, because this is something that Drew McIntyre is talking about, and now he's talking publicly about this, and I think this is really dope. He was on gorilla position, which, if you know anything about GP, it's back now, which is really cool. You guys should definitely check it out. I know another fellow content creator, Max, he's also part of gorilla position now. Really dope stuff coming out there. But Drew McIntyre was talking about this, and he was basically saying that WWE has been giving him more creative freedom. He says, you know, we got to evolve and we got to add some layers to his character. He talked about the process that he went through of how he could kind of like get back in there and elevate talent like Gunther and stuff like that. But he didn't go there, you know, to just make up the numbers. He also specifically says, I came here to be the top of the card and make a true difference to the overall show. I didn't feel like we were doing it. Then these past few months, I was really given the opportunity to be you. Show the real you. Show what's going on inside. Tell whatever story you're feeling. You can tell that things are a little different. You could go into the past. You can use whatever you want to help paint your picture. They gave me that blank canvas, and I've been able to do with it what I want. Obviously, in collaboration with the writers. Our creative team is so phenomenal the way that they set up week to week, and I can't think of that stuff. That's what's great about it. They think of the bigger picture and where we are getting to. Each week, I could paint my canvas to tell the story and to get to the final destination. This is so cool, man. This is so cool because I know this is something I particularly enjoy because I'm watching the storyline unfold every week, and Drew McIntyre has been a really good part about it. This is an example, by the way, of how cool it is to see talent being able to actually have input and to work alongside the writers to be able to come up with good storytelling. Because here's the reality. You don't want to be given creative freedom to the point where people take it, run with it, and completely screw over others. But if you look at what Drew McIntyre was doing before, it wasn't really that great. You know, Vince McMahon and Drew McIntyre, it was a very weird combination. And I always liked Drew McIntyre, but this run that Drew McIntyre is on is phenomenal, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact that the creative team and Drew McIntyre are coming together and actually planning this stuff out effectively. Sometimes creative freedom actually isn't that bad. I want to keep it moving. WWE legends are confirmed for WrestleMania 40, at least according to PW Insider. They have reported that multiple names have been confirmed for WrestleMania 40. The list includes Michelle McCool, Jimmy Hart, Kane, JBL, and Ron Simmons. Now, we don't know exactly what use they will have for WrestleMania 40. Will they be on the show? Will they be part of WWE World, which is the new event that they're doing with Fanatics? Have no idea. WrestleMania 40 is coming. It's going to be in Philly, and these are some great names. But at the same time, too, I want some ECW legends involved. If you look, I don't care what anybody says. If you are doing WWE WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, you need to have a little bit of that ECW influence involved in your show. And it's actually really interesting to me. This is a little bit of a side note, but if you're watching, just understand this is like the perfect opportunity for WWE. WWE NXT Stand and Deliver should have been something else other than Stand and Deliver. I understand that Stand and Deliver is kind of becoming their WrestleMania now, which is cool, and I'm happy about that. But I also want to point out with Kane and all of these people coming back, it would be really cool to see some ECW legends come in and get involved, whether it's the NXT show or the WrestleMania show or the podcast and the tours and the media stuff. I want to see them involved. I think if you're celebrating WrestleMania, WrestleMania is obviously a WWE thing, but at the same time too, ECW WCW. Those are very instrumental in the growth and the success of WWE. And I do want to make it very clear, having legends return is always cool, but it's important that you utilize them correctly. And in this case, I don't think we have to worry about them actually taking up anything from the talent on the shows. It seems like WWE is far removed from that. But nonetheless, it's important to understand that we might see these faces around. I also want to point out WWE NXT WrestleMania weekend, Stand and Deliver. It would be really, really, really cool if they changed the name from Stand and Deliver to something else. A lot of ECW influence still lives on with NXT. They use NXT Heatwave as well. It would be really cool if they could do something special that weekend. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the color scheme, or for like, I don't know. They got to do something more ECW influence would be cool. That's the way I look at it. But nonetheless, I love when legends return, as long as they're not taking away the spotlight and hurting the talent. For me personally, I'm a big fan of that. And that brings us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen, The Rock. What is going on with The Rock? I mean, this is, look, I'm just being honest. There is a lot of talk about The Rock and people being upset that The Rock is being able to swear. You know, SE Scoops basically came out with this article that WWE talent were sent a memo about remaining PG and following the rules and the standards and practices of, being a PG product. Now, interestingly enough, there have been talent to come out and say, we never got this memo. But there are tons and tons of talk about people having a little bit more of a problem with The Rock being able to do it, and then themselves not being able to do it. The Rock responds on Instagram and he says, "You sound like somebody The Rock can love, drunk and horny." That was part of his promo. He says, "Networks and standards and practices have issues with my language, but I'd rather be real than not. I talk from the heart, shoot from the hip, and try to always have fun." Now, here is what you guys need to know. The Rock is a board member. The Rock is the final boss. The Rock has come in and taken the spotlight because he's a dickhead. This is storytelling, my friends. I truly do not believe for a second that a real memo has gone out. And I truly believe that nobody actually has backstage heat here with The Rock. I think The Rock is doing this all on purpose, and I think WWE is doing this all on purpose to put into storytelling the idea that The Rock is a board member and The Rock is above everybody else and he can do whatever he wants. And the reason for this is because down the line, this is going to lead to more exciting TV. At the end of the day, WWE is in the position of creating the narrative that they want. And if you want people to really be mad at The Rock, you got to have stuff like this out there. Now, at the end of the day, I do think The Rock obviously does have a little bit more special powers than everybody else because he is The Rock. But I also think at the same time, too, The Rock has clearly shown us how dedicated he is to the product and actually helping the product. Dude, they literally pivoted to make this work. So that tells you everything you need to know about everybody involved, that they're willing to do what's right for the fans. And I just think this is great, compelling TV. Sorry that I'm praising WWE here, but you guys heard my reaction when Cody threw away his WrestleMania main event to now. I clearly have a different opinion, and I clearly feel a lot better about this because that's what good storytelling could do to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ango Show.